This is going to be our first lecture for a new unit. This unit's called The Era of American Imperialism. And I'm just going to try to make this real quick to kind of help you get started with the concept and go over some of the things that we're going to talk about and some big ideas. The era of American imperialism. Imperialism really, for most people is going to be a negative word. There's this concept of building an empire, imperialism, that we're going to spread influence around the world, which when you're talking about the good traits of America is not necessarily a bad thing. Democracy and promoting the common good and civilization and helping countries industrialize. However, a lot of times this idea of imperialism means that you're going to push your values by force and for the sake of power and aggrandizement and greed. And usually imperialism has a connotation of having little respect for other cultures. So this is, as most eras in American history, there is good, but there's also bad. And we're going to have to weigh those two aspects and make a judgment on what's the positives and how can we correct and or learn from the mistakes. I'm going to try to keep this lecture pretty brief, but real quick, this is a political cartoon that really I think shows that dichotomy pretty well of the good and the bad. In this cartoon, we've got Lady Liberty kind of standing there in front of the mirror. She, she's well dressed. She's put together. She's got this, wonderful hat. Notice that it says expansion. Her hat says world power, so she's very prestigious and regal and looking very fancy. But at the same time, that hat has the cannons. It's a war machine. It's aggression. And just the very nature of maybe looking in the mirror shows maybe a conceitedness or a vanity to America. So this cartoon, I think, really shows both of those traits of American imperialism there. This slide says America turns outward, and that's really what this unit is about. If our last unit on the progressive era was all about development within our country, now we're going to talk about America's foreign policy, how we're interacting with the world and other territories and nations around the globe. It says many developments fed the nation's ambition for overseas expansion. So these bullet points, 4 of them on this page, kind of run through a series of reasons for American imperialism. Many people said that we had to look beyond our shores as agricultural and industrial production increased. The American economy is booming, and we actually are going to look abroad for markets, for places where we can sell our finished goods and our excess agricultural products to. It's really funny. Today, a lot of times when we talk about global economics, we think of other countries making things and then importing them into America because America is a consumer nation. At the turn of the 20th century, in the 1900s, America is the manufacturing country, and we are looking for markets abroad to consume our finished products. The second bullet point there, many believed America had to expand or explode. In the 1800s, there was this thing called manifest destiny, that it was our destiny to expand across the continent and embody the entire continental U.S. Well, now, in the early 1900s, we've done that, and our population is growing, and many people felt like our next destiny was to then expand outward to places like maybe Hawaii or Puerto Rico or beyond. A third bullet point there, the yellow press. This is the media. If you remember, in the progressive era, we talked about the muckrakers and how they spurred reform and change internally. Those same newspapers, those same media outlets really hyped up an adventurous spirit or encouraged foreign wars or exploits to push us abroad. So the media is going to sensationalize and push expansionism and imperialism. There's a missionary aspect for this. This is one that I think sometimes is covered pretty well in World Civ. Um, uh, Negatively or derogatively, sometimes called the white man's burden. Many in America felt the need to spread Christianity, or in a less religious sense, democracy around the globe. There's a guy named Josiah Strong who pushed that idea that we needed to spread virtuous American ideals, whether it be Christianity or democracy, around the globe. This next slide kind of shows some of the places that America is going to go. I zoomed it in there a little bit, but here's the United States, obviously in green. You have the rest of the world, and you can see Cuba, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, the Panama Canal right in this area here, Samoa, Hawaii, Alaska, Guam, the Philippines, some incursions in China, in Beijing, with what's known as the Boxer Rebellion. There's dates, and you can kind of zoom in and look at this, but right around that turn of the century, the 1890s and early 1900s, America is really going to expand its influence from a local presence to a much more global presence. A few more reasons that America turned outward. So far, we've said economic markets, manifest destiny, we're busting at the seams, the yellow press or the media, the missionary aspect of spreading American ideals. Some people even use a Darwinist approach. This is maybe borders on racism or ethnocentrism, this idea that aggressive countries are going to take hold around the world, and if America doesn't surge forward, we're going to be left behind. Or maybe on this last bullet point, just this idea of strength, that we needed a strong Navy, because if we didn't have a strong Navy and strong naval outlets around the world, that other countries would be able to dominate us. And so as a way of Darwinism or just survival of the fittest, many pushed America to expand outward. It's real quick. I'll show you this map. Notice that we don't want to single out America as an imperialist nation. All of the major powers in the early 1900s were imperializing. That's not to justify it, to say that, well, they did it too, but to say that, going back to that last slide, if we were going to keep up or continue to have standing with other nations in the world, this is what we were contending with. You can see, and you probably studied this in World Civ, Africa was carved up by the European powers. Germany and France and Great Britain and Belgium all had colonies all throughout Africa at this time. And a real area of interest is this over here in East Asia and Southeast Asia, and that's where America is really going to begin to get a foothold in the Philippines. So in many ways, American imperialism is an attempt to keep up with this trend that was going on around the world. Just to finish up, again, there are aspects of imperialism that are very attractive. This idea of spreading American values, democracy, increasing our security and our global power. But there's also certainly an aspect that is ethnocentric, borderline racist, very greedy. This cartoon here shows Uncle Sam at the table with the current president at the time, William McKinley, as waiter, saying, well, I hardly know which to take first. When you lean into this idea of imperialism with this kind of arrogant or flippant attitude, there's obviously going to be some hits to the American reputation. We're going to study all of this all the way up through World War I. And imperialism is certainly a leading cause of World War I. And we'll come back to all of these issues when we get there. Okay, this is at least a start for imperialism. The unit page is now open, and you can kind of see some of the topics and assignments that are coming over the next 3 weeks. Thanks for listening. Hopefully this gets us started in the right direction. Thanks.